The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
Clickety-click.
Crank up the music. Keep an eye on the back.
This presentation is provided to you to amuse or entertain and not to conform or inform. The content on this channel should not be used to replace professional, financial, medical, or legal advice. All footage taken and used from public sources follow the Digital Millennial Copyright Act of 1998, and therefore no breach of privacy or copyright has been committed. This show is sustainably sourced and not affiliated with any community, club, fraternity, or gang. Your cat may vary. Moo.
A surprise party for a friend of ours. He didn't seem happy about it, and when I asked him why, he says he's never been able to enjoy surprise parties because the whole time he says he walks around realizing how well his friends can lie straight to his face.
Satellite tracking continues.
And so here we are.
Wow. Hey, everybody. Wow. I don't know. That button makes me laugh. And so sorry you had to see her face before mine. Here, well, let's do it traditionally. Whatever. I'll fix it and post edit. Wow. Wow. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Whoop, whoop. We did it again. Made it on the right side of the grass. And glad to all that you're here to see me. And there you go. Okay. Hi, everybody. And yes, does this look like a bowling shirt? Because it's kind of cool shirt. It was given to me by someone very special that I have to start off the show by saying they're having a birthday on Super Sunday. So it's super for them. And I'm just going to encode the rest of this. Let's call this person Alice and wish her a happy birthday coming up on Sunday.
Look who it is!
Oh, it's Alice!
Happy birthday, Alice!
Happy birthday, Alice! Woo!
Okay, that's enough of that. But yeah, and I got this from Alice, so I thought I'd wear it in celebration. And I don't know, it's funny, it's a shirt, but it's a sweater. So I wear it as an outer shirt, sweater / whatever I want. Anyways, so there. Happy birthday to Alice. Yes. What? What? The intro. What did I do wrong?
Who read it?
What?
Who read it?
I don't know what's going on here. The Silent Wife, what was that? What?
The disclaimer.
Oh. Well, they already kind of talked about it in the chat. Sorry, everyone. She's late to the show, but no. Yeah. So the intro I've been having, thank you for reminding me. I had different people reading it. And this week was no other than one of the half of the Clown World cousins, Faye, was reading it. And what a wonderful read, too, by the way. It was a beautiful voice, exactly, very articulate. And yeah, so thank you very much for that. I've upset the director, says, yes, exactly. And that, yeah. And you had to see all that upside down, so I apologize. But yes. And yes, thankfully, Jeannie is here. She does keep the show together, yeah, I must say. But so yes, so that was a great read, Faye. And so where is it? And Algo's here, and I've got more coming. I've got one, I believe. Well, I'll give them away. Algo and Joe, and so anybody, if you want to be the intro reader, I mean, it's silly, but I think it's a fun way to interact in the show. And then maybe we'll do a contest on the best read and do prizes. I don't know, but go look on my community page. There's one. I took a week off, and that was the day that I took my intro. What do you call it? Fair use thing. And I've always read it. In fact, Airborne Saint was the first person that read it, and then I made my own and read my own. And I put the words on there. If you want to. I have an email, ceilingfanman2020@gmail.com. You can send me an audio file. But the thing was, I'm old guy. I talk and text my stuff. And when I did that, I don't know why it's there, but it typed in the word moo. And it was never there before, but it got put in somehow. And so I didn't proofread that. I thought I had. And so the first two I got coming in, they say moo. So now it's kind of a thing. And I made a little cow to it, and there you are. So if you're wondering why there's that weird cow in there, it's a weird show, and there's new people here, and thank you for showing up. And hopefully it'll be fun, and you'll have a good time, and you may learn something along the way. Because where's that guy? He's here somewhere. I can never find him, but here we are. So there's that. Okay, so what do we have going here? I'm live here. I'm also over on Rockfish, or Rockfin, I should say. I always like calling it that. There's a few people over there. Thank you for being over there. And I do have people that support me over there, and thank you very much. And I'm also on Twitter. I don't know if anybody watches me there, but I'm just trying to get the show out there more for more people to see what's going on over here. And then... and this new thing, I turned on memberships last week. I'm still learning about it. I don't know. People are green if they're members. For right now, it's just an extra way to support the show, and every bit helps, and I appreciate that. In the future, maybe I can work out different scales on that. But for right now, that's why I've turned them on. So if you're wondering why some people are green, that's why they did a little extra support for the show. I appreciate. And as far as wrenches, that's a way that you can remove people and so forth in a show in the chat. But I've had issues, a lot of YouTubers do, with errant wrenches and things. So I really had scaled down the wrenches, took a whole bunch away a long time ago. And I really haven't done much about it since then. So if you don't have one, it's not an insult. Don't worry about it. It doesn't change the experience. And if the only reason you're here is to get a wrench in your hand, well, then you're here for the wrong reasons. Because the rest of us, we know the reason that we're here.
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go.
That was should have been my Oscar-winning performance. I did win the Grammy, of course, as you all know. But no, whatever. And so there. Let's see. So welcome everyone. There's a lot of new people here, and I appreciate that. I just did a show. If you haven't seen it, it's up on Jen's channel. It's on my Rockfin, and that I did with Brian Stavely and Jen. We covered Mandela effect, specifically dealing with JFK and things like that. But other things too. And so I've got some new people from there that didn't know that Jen and I used to do shows with Brian all the time. So welcome if you've come from there, and I hope you enjoy yourself. So yes. And you know what, Mr. Beast fan, let's talk about Elon, shall we? Okay. Because he's straight up in the beginning of this too. Let's see, where are we at? Let's see. We'll go here. Is it this one or is it this one? I'm messing up everything. Don't mess up the tabs. Don't mess up the tabs. Okay. So, and I know this is supposed to be a polished show, but this is what you get. So, it's not the show you might have wanted. It's the one you deserve, right? Okay. So let's see. Let me go over to here. One more click or two, and we should be good to go. So talk amongst yourselves, and see. Actually, I won't count anyone tardy until I get this ready. So see, you got a few more minutes to sneak into your chair, and you won't have to bang erasers and stuff like that. So okay, if we get this running, oh, and I get an ad. So many ads on YouTube, and I know people are getting on mine too. It's just they had some kind of update that just happened, and man, it's crazy how many I'm getting to. All right, okay, so we'll go over here. Okay, so let's start. What's this? Oh, hey, thank you. I didn't see. That's another thing we're working on, turning all these things on. So thank you, Jason Valencia. Thank you very much. So he did something over in Ko-fi. So, okay. And I'm supposed to check something. Check my text. Jen's. Oh my gosh, what is this? Okay, I'm not sure. But Jen, yeah, thank you. Mesa Melt does. I think I put that picture up. Okay, moving on. Get a hold of Jeannie. Talk to my producer right now. I'm having trouble doing multiple things at once, my man. And I know I'm not being focused. Everyone's grabbing my attention. Okay, all right, it's enough. Well, you know what? Let me cleanse. Okay, all right. Wait, what's that? Is that a mockingbird?
Oh wow, is that a mockingbird?
Is that a mockingbird? Is that a mockingbird?
Guy looks so sad at the end of that. Okay, so we're gonna go here. We'll present screen, clickety click here, and let's see. And we're over here. No, we're over here. Elon is going to make people pay $8 if they want to call him. So here's the newest wonderful thing this guy's doing. So he's going to get rid of any way of contacting him. I mean, this is all, supposedly, but he's going to get rid of any way that you can contact him except through his own app. But the only way you can contact people through the app is you have to pay $8 a month to use it to make audio and visual calls. So basically, if you want to ever be able to call Elon for anything business related, you have to subscribe to his X. Isn't that great? Fantastic. So, and this is the Grammy I won.
And the Grammy goes to...
Ceiling Fan Man with Elon. And his name is Elon. They say he's a family man. And his name is... All right, that's enough. Okay. So, yeah. So you're going to have to pay $8 now if you want to talk to Elon. And some people are saying they can't say... I think it was Simone Watchman was saying he can't say that name right anymore. It always comes out Elon. So you're welcome. Okay, what's this? And just for all of you, just remember... this is real.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. Because it looks so fake. We'd have way better CGI if it was fake. I think it looks so ridiculous and impossible.
Right? Because that's actually happening. This is going on in space.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. Because it looks so fake.
Because, see, I don't believe in this. I'm the crazy person. The person that is not has to believe in this. Just saying. And then this is just a question. I'm not saying it's a Mandela effect. I'm just asking my music lovers out there, and especially ones that are, in my range of age, I guess, because my high school days were the 80s, of course. And there's this group that I've never heard of. Now, I'm sure other people have. Maybe if Rose is here, whatever, she's, this was like a power hair band, one of those. And they did this power ballad that hit the number 10 on the Billboard charts called Love Song. And they have a lot of other songs. It's very similar sounding to like Black Crowes or Rolling Stones, that kind of sound, but they look like the bands of the 80s with the long hair and stuff. And they're called Tesla. And the thing is, if this band has always existed, I just never knew anything about it. But how come no one's been talking about this band ever since the Teslas came out, right? Or lawsuits between them and Tesla. Or, I mean, if I was this band, I would definitely, pick up on the fact that Tesla's everyone's talking about. Okay, Joy's heard of Tesla. And Mr. Beast has everyone's heard of him and loves him. Okay, well, for me, that was news. But why aren't we all talking about Tesla? I mean, I would if I was them. Of course, now they're all being recalled. So maybe you don't want to connect yourself. Did you hear that? We talked about it. Not just some of them are being recalled. Now all of them are. He's recalling everyone of the Teslas that were sold in the United States. It's just fantastic. And some of the other countries, I believe, too. So, yeah, I'm enjoying their music. So that was news to me. So, yeah, okay, what have we got next? Speaking of music, I'm thinking of getting a metronome just for Sarah. She doesn't give up, this cat. She's still trying to get it. I think it traumatized it. I think after it walks away, it still does that. So they say. What's this? Oh, and haters will say this is fake, but I don't know. It's not on the internet. It's got to be real. I'm not driving with them, though. I'll tell you that. Fast and Furious. Oh, Fast and Furious. Ah, ha, ha. See what I did there? Fast and Furious. If I could get to my rim shot guy, I would, but I can't right now. Okay. I'll cover this in a second. This new AI tool thing. But I did want to bring up to all the new people here. So what is this show even about? This show is about kind of my journey over the last several years. I ended up having time off. So did my wife. We started watching all kinds of things and reading. And we started finding out, that we've been lied to about, everything by everyone. I just have reasons to play that. I don't know even if it fits. But we found out that we're being lied to on such a grandiose scale. And so what I ended up doing was I had so much information that I turned this camera on, and I actually started doing little walkabouts outside, and adding music and telling my thoughts, and then putting memes at the end. And then it was the Silent Wife that decided to tell me that I should go live. And so I went live, and it's been, at least 2, maybe 3 years. I'd have to look exactly when I started the Friday shows. And I think at that time I had maybe 10 people or less, and it was exciting. And I try not to look at the number. Right now I think we have almost 130. God bless you all. Thank you. So I don't look at that or think about actually who's watching. I talk to this camera, I see me, and then I do the show. And but what happened is through my journey, I started, do I have the little one here? No, I don't. I started looking into the Bible that people tell me not to read. And there's so many channels and so many books and things that'll tell you to don't bother with this. It's some kind of religious dogma to trap you. When actually, without any kind of religious background to it at all, because I was born and raised Jewish, we just weren't really practicing. I had no strongholds to break through about the things in that book. And so I started finding out that all of these topics, they all seem to talk about at the end a battle of good and evil, God versus Satan. And, I didn't believe in that other than just a morally way of living. And so I started reading it, and then it just blew me away. I was fascinated because not only the stories are exciting, they talk about things that you can prove, and we've talked about on this show and others, and I'll continue to do it. Things that you can prove that have happened in our past. And then it talks about things that are happening right now. And then if those two things fall in line, it gives you some idea of like where we're heading in the future. And so why you wouldn't read a book like that, I don't know. It's like the opposite team left their playbook in your locker room trying to get the sports ball people involved. The Super Bowl's coming up. And you didn't look at it. I mean, it has the whole program of what is supposed to be going on through these times. And so that's why I started reading it. My connection to God, it came separate from that. In fact, it actually came before I started reading it as in depth as I do. And I read it a lot because I'm constantly finding information in it. I'm not going to find it on any of these YouTube channels because they're just reading the same information that we can read. So even all the things that I talk about, I encourage you, go look into these things and read these things for yourself and check out the things that I'm mentioning and see where we're at. For instance, today, out in the area where my family lives, and I'm praying that everybody is safe throughout these times that we're in. But there was earthquakes in California, and I watched this gentleman slinging stone. I like his work. And he brings up this passage: nations will rise against nation and kingdoms against kingdoms, famines, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places is what I know. And all these are the beginnings of sorrows. And so you can go out through history and point out times people have been at war, times there's been earthquakes and so forth. What I find interesting is in this video, which he made yesterday, where is it? There was an earthquake in Florida yesterday, the largest ever recorded on the East Coast, as rare 4.0 magnitude tremor strikes 101 miles off of Cape Canaveral. And that was yesterday. And then you go to today, and this Mr. BBB guy, and he's discussing the swarm of earthquakes that are actually currently still going on right now. In the Malibu area and so forth, all in this area. There's just a swarm of them right here. And he brings up the point that this area just got that rain bomb dump of all this excess water, right here is saturated. And now you've got all this swarm of earthquakes happening, and it covers all this whole area. So, and then in addition to that, an hour after the earthquake happened that was near my mom's house, there was one in Hawaii. So now you got a swarm of earthquakes in California. You got a very large one in Hawaii and a very large one in Florida. So, in addition to that, of course, you can look around the world or the globe, whatever you think you live on, and see that everyone's. Let me get out of this. That everyone seems to either be going to war with each other or talking about it. And so, yeah, there's been different wars throughout the years. But again, this is a time when, like, all the major powers are seeming to be either in a war right now or talking about joining a war. So I'm not a fear channel. I'm just I think more like what they call a watcher, where I just say, hey, I see something. I'm just pointing it out. And then you use the information as you see. Regardless, I do believe that we're in times, we're in really special times. And so it's nothing to be feared, but just know where we are in the book. Because I believe, yes, do I believe in the Bible? Well, you got, again, we live in an earth where you got, where is it? I just had it. You have two options here, basically. There's no, as The Rock says, there's no option C. So let's see, we'll go here. I mean, you either believe in, where is it here? This one. No. Pop. Oh, it's that one. Okay. You either believe in science.
I don't know why you always have to be judging me. Because I only believe in science.
Right? Which means, and there's a really funny thing I don't think I can play tonight, but I might put up on my channel that South Park covered this perfectly. But you have to believe, this is the story, that this amoeba thing mutated. So that basically the thing that's supposed to die in nature, the mutation, suddenly was the only thing that lived. And at some point a fish grew feet. And then this fish, these two, and then they end up having turning into this thing. Like, where is this ever seen? Anywhere. We don't see any kind of evolution anymore. It's this you can't find, or the missing link is still missing. They told us for a while it was Lucy, and then they told us they faked that. And then we find all the dinosaur bones in the museums are not even real. So, but the one thing they do find, giant bones, which would destroy this whole thing. Why? Because that's biblical. Well, that they don't find, right? We don't find any of those. Even though I've seen people find them. Well, not personally, but I've seen some people on these channels find them. So I've never experienced this, and neither of you. Just saying. And I found this interesting. If you look up the word demon in the King James Bible, it's not there. The only time it shows up, it's under, where is it? It's not even the word demon. Here, demonstration. So every time they talk about a demon in the Bible, it's an unclean spirit. I'm not saying that's a Mandela. I'm just saying I found that shocking. I guess every time I read it, I heard unclean spirit as I was reading it, but I thought demon because that's what they're called. But just found that interesting. Okay, let's get out of this. So what happened was I started looking into these things, and I just found them to be true. And I think the reason God is using me as someone to speak about these things is because I have that background that I didn't have any affiliation to any kind of religion or church. In fact, my old religion was told to discount the Bible. And they told me I was learning the Torah. I had to learn another language to get a bar mitzvah, right? And then I just found out, like in the last few years, that I was reading, the beginning of the Bible. They never told me that. They never discuss it. They make us think that the Bible and Jesus, don't even worry about it. It's not part of life. Well, turns out they're wrong. And in addition to that, it talks about the people in these times that say that they're of a certain group and they're not. And they have a star they call David, and it's not. It's the star of Remphan. And if you want to look into any of that, please do so. I've covered on this channel, but it's very interesting that a book could predict the time that we're in. We find ourselves right now. So, okay, let's go here. Let me start with, let's see. Let me bring this down. Go here and go over here. Holy cow, we got a lot of comments. What should we see? Let me read some of these. Gabby L's catching up. Okay, good. You catch up. Yeah, and I agree. I just found it interesting that it doesn't use the word in the Bible. I just found that kind of shocking. What else we got here? Shapu made a good point. That's fantastic. Yeah, cast out devils and not demons. Yeah, I don't know. Do you find it interesting, Daryl? That I don't know if it's a thing. I just found it very odd. What is this? Real good. Let's see. What else do we have? Yeah, the Smithsonian takes the bones and loses them. Exactly. And the dinosaur bones, supposedly, they have down in shells in little boxes. But then every once in a while, like they had that one dinosaur, was it Sioux? Or and they had chicken bones or some other animal bones in there. I mean, it's all just unraveling. That's why they call it the Great Awakening. It's the, apocalypse just means the great eye-opening awakening. And that's what's happening. All their stuff is showing. Your chat bar is not moving, okay? Try it now. I don't know, but I hope it helps. And here in Oahu? Yeah, that's in Hawaii. That's where, so you're out there. So hopefully you're doing well too. I don't know. Let us know how big that one was out there. The one over by my mother was 4.6, which is pretty big. And they've had a lot of, aftershocks since then too. So, yes, evolution is the biggest fairy tale. And when did we stop evolving, right? Beautiful bloom seeds. I like that name. Yeah, when did we stop evolving? Exactly. Adaptation. Okay. Science is knowledge. Oh, okay. And, if you guys are getting YouTube commercials, I apologize. The only commercial you should ever have to sit through is this one.
Get rid of that old mug. It's garbage. You want to drink out of a ceiling fan man mug. Brand new from Ronco. The Ceiling Fan Man mug. Get yours today. Have you ever dreamed of going to space? Well, you can because it's fake, but you can get your very own Ceiling Fan Man mug. Proudly made in the exotic land of China.
China.
Your Ceiling Fan Man mug can hold cold liquid, hot liquid, granola, the TV remote. It can even stop a door from closing. Get yours today. Each Ceiling Fan Man mug comes with a commemorative box. Ooh. Order now and become your own legend by ordering a Ceiling Fan Man mug today. And if you order in the next 10 seconds, we'll include show notes crumbled up and autographed by Ceiling Fan Man himself.
But wait, there's more.
Any orders of 66 or more will get an exclusive personalized NFT of Ceiling Fan Man eating cereal. The Ceiling Fan Man mug. Get yours today. Don't be a loser.
Satellite tracking continues.
So, yes. And please don't ever order in the next 10 seconds or 66 or more, because I have no idea how to make an NFT. It was just for humor. In fact, I tell people these mugs were created just so I could send them, each one of my children, we have several boys, so they'd be forced to have it in their house. Yeah, I think, where are we up to? 8? I think there's 8. It's a Brady Bunch family. It's very mixed. So, yeah, that's my favorite line, don't be a loser. Well, you know where I stole that from? I actually stole that line from, where is he? Superman.
Don't smoke. It doesn't make you grown up. It makes you a loser.
That's my childhood. I watched Saturday morning cartoons, and that guy would call us losers. Great. Really good for your self-esteem, just so you know. Yeah. Does Batman say it too? Don't be lower? Oh, maybe. And thank you, Panson. I posted your thing today when we started the show. It was a very nice, wonderful prayer. So I appreciate that. So, okay. So where are we at here? Yeah, Red Storm is David, Jesus Freak Computer Geek. He sent me I forgot to read. He sent me like a little commercial that they're good to drink anything. It doesn't have to be. This is coffee right now, but you can put anything in it. Yes. So let's see. Where are we at here? So I guess there's a problem with the chat. And then believe it or not, the silent wife down there, she just got a live. I don't even know how they do it. If anybody knows about YouTube, could you write me privately an email on how to turn that off so I don't have ads in the live? I don't like that, if you're here live. So, and okay. All right. So that's an interesting name. We'll check it out. What else do we got here? Well, I guess someone was saying that it's not rolling, but God bless you too, Marcy. New names here, so I'm very happy to see you new names here. And Melanie is here, so if anyone's late now, you got to let me know, Melanie. So, yes. Okay. All right. I think we're good there. So, yeah, no, I don't know how to make them. Please don't ask for that. So, okay. Let's see. Is that everybody? Okay. So now we'll move on down. Okay. All right. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's go back up here. And we were going to present this thing. That's right. See, squirrel. I got lost in my thoughts here. So here. Okay. But I want to make sure. Oh, yeah. So we have to share it this way for audio. So you got to go here. This one. Okay. Clickety click. And we'll go here and here. And everyone's fine. I just want to preface with that. But, there's that moment when, are you getting a sign? Oh, no. And there goes the drummer. Okay, so I want to do a breakdown on this video because I found it fascinating, okay? And he's okay, just so you know. I can prove it. We'll finish it up. All right. How about that? I mean, for a while here, it looks like he's dead, honestly. We might take just a moment. All right, so he starts moving in the rubble, okay? And he's okay. I mean, he's alive. Let's go with that. What I found interesting is this a bunch of these people at this church. And so literally the guy's getting crushed. Right here, they should all stop and go rush the stage and help him. No, these four quartet are they're plugging along. Man, we're jamming. This is good. Everyone's cheering, right? Meanwhile, the audience isn't screaming either. And I think it's a testimony of how mind-controlled we are. It's like everyone else, I think, thought someone else was going to help him. And then you end up with an entire room full of Christians or whatever, just sitting there enjoying the music. This sucker keeps playing. Look at this. All right. How about that? He started up again. Meanwhile, no one's helped this guy. How much time goes by? Let's see. He gets crushed right here. 26. There's still at least another 3 or 4 seconds left. No, 15 seconds before they help him. 15 seconds, they just keep playing. No one in the audience bothers to say anything. Finally, they acknowledge it's a problem. Let's take just a moment. And he goes, let's take a moment, and laughs. And then still no one helped the guy. I think that's fantastic. Yeah, the show must go on. Exactly. So, yeah. Okay. Where are we at here? So, yeah. Isn't that something? I guess you're right. Maybe that the drummer was off and everyone just said, hey, it's better off sounding without him. It could be. Isn't that awful? That's awful. Nobody helped him. Yeah. That I get. Where is it? Where is this thing? The producer there said maybe they knew Jesus was with them. I like it. I like it. It's fantastic. Yeah, they're in some kind of trance, right? So, okay. Yeah, that's where to go. Shampoo. You were in here. I just saw it. These things are going fast. There's a lot of people talking. Dang. But yeah, Shampoo said the show must go on. So, okay. Wow, what happened? My thing is spun here. Okay. So, all right. Okay. Where are we at here? Let's see. Oh, that's bad. I hope not. You're not supposed to use them that way. That seems very negative. Just saying. The MK Ultra Church. You guys are funny. So, okay. Just like, you know what? I hope everyone's safe. But the area that all those swarms and all that bloated water and all that stuff that Mr. BBB 33 was talking about with this, that's like Malibu. That's where all the stars have their gigantic homes and stuff. So, maybe this is a point where they get taken out and they head for the hills. I don't know, but we'll see. The stars are falling. That could be the sign of revelation that we're looking for. The fallen stars, maybe the Hollywood ones. Could be. Could be. Who knows? Okay. Evidence that we're in an upside down world. I think this is beautiful, this article. So there's a AI tool that is removing tattoos and putting clothes back on of these, what do they call them? Influencers. And what's funny is the influencers are getting pissed off. And in fact, this one guy is being sued for this because these people want the attention to look half naked. And this AI tool puts clothes back on them. And the argument, believe it or not, this is how upside down this world is that they're being misogynistic by putting clothes back on them. Do you see? Idiocracy is in our rearview mirror. Nothing makes sense anymore. You're now misogynist if you want women to have more clothes than they want to show off in this upside down world. So I found that put your clothes back on. Then they get mad. Okay, let's get into this. I don't know if Rose is watching, but I've done 2 shows with her about birds, and it is a topic that I've covered many times. I'll probably have to do another show about it because they're constantly in the news. And here's where we're going to go with this one tonight. There is a thing that I talk about with birds that here, let me get out of this screen share for a second here. So if you go with the story that 1/3 of the angels fell, that means 2/3 of the angels are still with God and they're on our side. And how would you have a whole bunch of angels all over earth to interact or look over or check out things without people freaking out if we saw these winged creatures? You should read some of the angels in the Bible. They got multiple eyes and horns and who knows what. Or Moses has horns now. No, the angels have multiple faces and things. Some are pretty shockingly scary. So rather than that, I believe, they have it in Lies and Truth in Movies, Lies in TV. Transformers, they can turn into anything and pretend to be planes and stuff. So why can't angels, look as animals? They say in the Bible they can look as people and walk among you and you wouldn't know. But I'm thinking you could have an entire army of birds out there. And everyone discounts birds. We don't even name them. We don't even talk to them, which is another interesting thing. If you have a bird in your house trapped in a cage, you can name it and you can talk to it perfectly fine. If you're outside and you see a bird in nature, and you talk to it, they call you crazy.
That's very true.
Right? Because science.
I don't know why you always have to be judging me. Because I only believe in science.
So, having said that, if you had a bunch of birds, it would be easy to infiltrate some of those as angels. And when you look at the list of the foods that you can and cannot eat in Leviticus, I'm putting that I think that a lot of the birds that are talked about you can't eat, some of those potentially are angels. And in the world that we live in here, they tell you that crows and ravens are scary and they bring death and destruction and Vincent Price. But in the world that I live in, the earth that I live in, the ravens and the crows around here, they chase off the predator birds that go after, my chickens and things. They've never done anything bad to us at all. In fact, they've helped us. And so I pose to you that when you read the Bible, there is what I believe a Mandela effect in it, to where Noah no longer sends the dove out. He first sends out a raven. It's interesting. The raven they never talk about it again. It just vanishes. And then when you read the stories of like Odin, that the gods, he had 2 ravens that he'd send out across the earth and report back to him. And there are stories in the Bible that it says, be careful what you say in your bedchamber because a bird might hear it and go tell someone. And so I truly believe that there is some of them, not saying all of them, but some of them. And when you put them on as my old partner Steve JMO would say, the coincidence shelf. Birds fly, angels supposedly fly. Birds have wings, angels supposedly have wings. Birds never die, at least that I've seen, of old age. Always trauma. Interesting. Because why aren't we finding a bunch of birds that die of old age? They'll flew off and they do it somewhere you can't see. I just find that a lot of coincidences in there. There's more, but that's all I'll cover for tonight. Because now you got the other side. Pigeons. Now I know there's multiple sites now apparently that say birds aren't real. And, we laugh at those people, right? Just like we used to laugh at the flat earth people. But then you get a story like this. A pigeon was suspected of being a Chinese spy, finally got released after 8 months in captivity. Okay? I didn't make this up. They did. And so there was a pigeon. And I like what it says in the article. This article written by Lucas Ropek. Okay? And this is the kind of news articles we get. We used to, years ago when I was a kid, they had, who was the guy? Walter Cronkite, Dan Rather, and that's the way it is and all this. Now you get this. A pigeon that was suspected of being a Chinese secret agent has been cleared of wrongdoing and released following a period of months-long captivity. Yes, you read that right. And no, I'm not fucking with you. This is the article. You imagine that? Imagine your dad reading the newspaper or whatever. So yeah. So it was picked up by India 8 months ago. Let's see. It says the bird was caught lurking at an international port in Mumbai. And members of, isn't this sound like a joke? I feel like I'm reading the Onion News, but this was in the New York Times. Not this article, but they're referencing that one. Excuse me. Members of a special law enforcement team at the Central Industrial Security Force, so I guess that must be their CIA out there, they decided the bird might be up to no good, and the unfortunate animal is drummed into what is presumably passed for a bird prison at the local station. So, and you laugh at this and you say, how ridiculous. Well, that's why you're on this channel, because we go in depth. We go past this article. We say to you, you can't ever find a baby bird, pigeon. They don't exist in nature that we can see. And when you type in pigeon and nest, that's what you get. You get a pigeon and you get maybe some eggs, but you never see a baby pigeon. When you look at these pictures, first of all, that doesn't even look real. I mean, look at the eyes. And these things don't look real. I don't know what the heck's going on here. But these are never found in nature. Whenever you see these pictures, it's just put together by, I don't know, this is pest control. Because they always tell you that they breed really high up in the city and no one ever goes up to where their nests are. And then the reason you don't see these walking around the city is supposedly pigeons sit on the birds, not just while they're in the egg stage, but basically until they're almost completely fully grown adults. That's why you only see adult pigeons. And again, where are the pigeons dying of old age? I guess they fly up on top of the rooftop. Nobody sees them. That just looks sus to me. And then there's this. Pigeons aren't real. They actually have a breakdown as how they think they do it. And so again, you can look at this and you can laugh and go, what are we doing wasting our time watching this guy? He thinks pigeons aren't real. Okay. This was made in the 1970s. It's not a dragonfly. It's a drone. It's the size of a dragonfly, but they admit that they made this. Oh, now they can't play it. Uh-oh. They got to us. But you saw it for a second. They're not letting us. It's not wild there. Okay? It's the actual size of a dragonfly, but it is a drone. So why is this so far-fetched? Because you don't see baby pigeons. You don't see their nests. It's just, let's say they're sus. How about that? There's some sussiness going on here. And then if you think all that's ridiculous, and again, these are actual news stories. Look it up. The CIA did this, right? And I'm sure they stopped, right? How about this? Anybody know about Acoustic Kitty? This program by the same company, the three-letter people, this was in the 60s, and they wanted to spy on Russia. And this is sad, but what they did is they surgically implanted a battery pack and a microphone and antennae. So the idea was, because cats walk everywhere, it's going to walk somewhere, and it's going to hear some private conversation. It's going to help us win the war against the Russians. You know, Rocky started it, and this cat's supposed to finish it, I guess. I guess Rocky did it in the second time we fought the Russians. We're always seeming to fight the Russians, right? We were currently fighting the Russians again, I guess. So, so 1967. But here's the problem with this situation. Are you ready? It's a cat. So they tried months to train it to do what they wanted to do. And there's a reason it's called herding cats. You can't do it. And then they let the cat out to try to see what would happen. And the rumor is it got run over by a taxi cab within the first few minutes. Program over. So again, am I reading the Onion News? No, this is history. You can look it up. This actually happened. Autistic kitty. Oh, acoustic. I hope I said it right the first time. Hope I didn't say autistic both times. Acoustic Kitty is an actual program brought to you by the three-letter group, along with the dragonfly and most likely currently the pigeon. Just saying. It's a bird. No one sees their nests or their babies, and they mostly exist in the cities. So, all right, enough bird talk. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, at what point, who's the one that you're supposed to laugh at? Are you supposed to laugh at the guy that thinks that, pigeons aren't real, and then finds all these articles that they've messed with cats, they've messed with bugs, they've messed with, but they couldn't possibly have fake birds on something you never see a baby of, right? Of course not. Of course not. Yes. Am I mocking?
Oh, wow. Is that a mockingbird?
Man, isn't it a mockingbird? Isn't it a mockingbird?
See, the reason that guy's sad is he gets mocked for believing in something.
I don't know why you always have to be judging me. Because I only believe in science.
Okay. All right. What are we doing? How are we all doing? 154. Oh, shoot. I better come up with some cool content. You're all here for something. And then look at this. Someone's tardy to the party. Okay, Melanie, whoever else, get them on the eraser duty for after class.
I don't feel tardy.
So, All right. Good to see you. Glad you made it, Patty. All right. Okay. Where are we at here? And oh wow, the crowd's tough tonight. 20 push-ups, Patty. You better get on that. Okay. What do we got here? What are you talking about, pants? Give me a break. There's no dead pigeons. The building foundations downtown. Dead pigeons. How'd they die? Are they dead of old age? Or are they dead of trauma of some kind? Maybe pigeons you can find of old age? I don't know. But I'm not even saying, like, let's say it's not all the pigeons. Oh, probably is. But let's say it's not. It'd be real easy to just throw some extras in there. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah, I think they did weird stuff with dolphins too. Yeah. So, okay. Where are we at here? Okay. And that could be too, Mason Melt. Rats could possibly eat them. That's the thing. Everything we're doing on this channel is we're trying to understand it because the things that were taught to us, we're finding out are wrong. So we're learning to get.
That's the fact, Jack! That's the fact, Jack!
And we do it along with other handlers and their funny jokes. So, okay. All right. So Patty's only done one push-up. You better get hurrying. Okay. So let's see. Let me go here. Clickety click. And let's see. Go here. I found this interesting. I've done entire shows about the food that we eat. And we'll start off with this.
Before the 1970s, everyone was hot and healthy. People ate more, smoked more, exercised less, and they effortlessly kept off weight. It was way easier to be healthy. But since then, obesity is up almost 5 times. Something is poisoning us and nobody knows what it is. People are blaming it on carbs, red meat, and butter, but our ancestors ate more of all of those things. Our grandparents' generation ate 100 grams of sugar a day, 4 times more butter, loads of refined grains, bread, and eggs. Yet back then, only 1% of America was obese versus 40% today. Something is poisoning our metabolism, and it's not real food.
So there. And I would go in depth more on that, but I don't think I could say that any better than they did just there because it's the truth. Our parents and grandparents, that's all they ate. And there were no gyms. No one was going to the gym. And, slowly I believe it's when these boxes came in the living rooms, the televised vision boxes, because that started in the 60s, I guess, but mostly it hit in the 70s when everyone was sitting around their living room. And where is he? Everyone. I like this. Everyone! And the family unit was starting to get broken up, and they introduced TV dinners and microwaves, and all that stuff hit us at the same time. And so we got used to eating faster, cooking faster. I remember when microwaves first came out, you could put the roast in that would take, say, like 4 hours to cook, and it would cook it in 2 hours. And we were like blown away on stuff like that. And then, of course, they got faster and faster. And we've gotten to a society that we have no more patience. We want it now. And people that, order on Amazon, which I think everyone, I'm not going to play them again, but everybody pretty much orders something on Amazon now, it seems. And now when you look at it, and if it's not there the next day, if it's going to be 2 or 3 or a week, you go, oh my God. But when I was growing up as a kid, I was just talking about this to the producer downstairs the other day. When I would buy an album, and I remember this one, it was Pat Benatar. And it's one where she's in a straitjacket. It's back on the shelves back there somewhere. Yeah, I've got vinyl. But we buy an album, and there wasn't words to the lyrics on all of them. And she had this thing that if you wrote to her fan mail, forget it, I did, okay? Hey, I had a life before this. It might have been some geekiness to it, but I did. I wrote to her because I wanted the lyrics, mostly. And so I sent it in. And when you mail things in back then, they would tell you 6 to 8 weeks. is how long it would take. Can you imagine if anybody right now that hasn't experienced this, if I told you if you order something from whatever, Amazon, whatever, it's going to be about 6 to 8 weeks before you get it. But that's what we had to deal with. Now, I mean, some places Amazon delivers it with like a couple hours of when you order it. They got hubs all over the place. So we've turned into a society that wants things right away. And it happened with our food first. And rather than going to the store, because nobody has time, so rather than going, this show's about time, rather than going to the store and buying the groceries, then bringing them home, and then prepping the food, and then cooking the food, and then, you can take everyone out to dinner, or you could go buy, say, McDonald's, and for $20, the whole family could eat in 10 minutes. And so it got so easy to go to these places to have other people make our food that two things happened. We stopped eating as healthy as we used to, even if you were eating those old things that they were saying are bad now. But the processing and the preservatives and whatever else is in the food that they tell us, that stuff started affecting us. In addition to that, it was way easier to eat faster all the time. So before you had to like prepare it and get ready for the meal, and so you probably weren't eating as often. But the idea that the food that you're eating now, and now we found out, of course, in the water, and then they found out even the bottles that are the water sitting in, and you can go through a whole thing, and people don't think about the lotions they put on, the soaps that they use, all the different things, the products in their hair, all of that gets into your system. We have pores and we absorb that. And so I truly believe that our body is let's see, where's this? A healing, a unit that is designed by God to be self-healing. But what happens, I believe, is if we're constantly putting toxins in and on our bodies, it's constantly having to clean that out. And so I believe that's why you'll get sick or you'll get heavy or whatever, is because you're ingesting too many or absorbing too many of these negative things. And it's affecting your health. And the way science gets around it is they'll put you on a prescription and you'll be on it the rest of your life. But we find that if you change specifically, I think your diet would be a huge thing. If you are eating fast food all the time, or specifically sodas and things like that, do your best to cut those out, cut it to a minimum. I'm not saying you can't live. I'm not saying that, say, there's a new donut shop that opened up nearby that I haven't partaken of it. Okay, I have. Just saying, possibly, maybe. No one saw me. But you know what I mean? You have to live here. But if you do anything in excess, especially these different poisons, then it will affect your system, as amazing as it's created. Because it is an intelligent design. This didn't come out of primordial soup like evolution tries to tell us. Where's the other one? I'll give you the opposite version. I think we did. Yeah, the evolution one, where we started as a fish thing and work our way out of the ocean. I'm not buying it, just saying. I have no evidence of that. And until you can prove your side, I'm going to go with what I'm seeing. There are things in the Bible that I have been able to prove, and I have not been able to prove anything that comes out of these science things. So, all right, let me get out of that and go back into this. You know what? Let me just scroll through these and get rid of some of these pictures. I'll do that. And is there any more coffee down there, love? I would love some, please. Okay. All right, so we'll go here. And we're here, right? Okay. Okay, we got that one. All right, so now we were discussing about all these earthquakes and stuff and the rain, the flooding that happened, and this came out just the other day. Now, I'm not saying this. This lady is alleging the.
Name's Kara.
The Santa Ana Watershed Project Authority, also known as SAPA, a joint power authority spanning portions of Riverside, San Bernardino, and Orange counties, announced January 9th that they had conducted its first cloud seeding event. The agency says that the 4-year weather modification program, which launched in November 2023, intends to evaluate the effectiveness of enhancing local water supplies through cloud seeding in the region.
And what I find interesting, too, is for several years, myself and others have talked about this. And we'll see things up in the sky, and we'll point it out. And all of my videos, whenever I would talk about it or showcase it, they would put there's no such thing as chemtrail, it's contrails you're seeing, it's moisture and whatever. Meanwhile, then they come out and they, in this program, say they're going to seed the clouds with contrails.
Cloud seeding involves infusing silver iodide mixed with acetone particles into the clouds during a storm, causing ice crystals to form and water to condense into rain or snow. SAPA cloud seeded during 3 storms in the last week of December and the first week of January. Northeastern University Assistant Professor of Public Policy and Urban Affairs and International Affairs, Laura Kuhl, says that while cloud seeding is not a new technology, first experiments took place in the 1940s, it fell out of favor in the 80s for being unacceptable ethically and an environmental hazard.
And all of that's provable too. They talked about even in Vietnam that they did things to create fog and stuff for that war. Of course, we know how well that went.
Kuhl notes that several unintended consequences from cloud seeding. A study in the UAE demonstrated that cloud seeding operations lead to an increase in urban flooding. A blizzard in China killed over 40 people, and severe flooding in the UK have also been linked to cloud seeding. Kuhl goes on to say that silver iodide is known to be toxic and is regulated under the Clean Water Act as hazardous substance. Studies have documented potential harms from bioaccumulation, particularly for aquatic life. Wow, and look at our county. You guys cloud seeded us on purpose. You destroyed these people's homes. They didn't have flood insurance, but you all know that. I just hope that flood insurance gets, there's like some sort of a clause that if it's not a natural event, if it is a cloud seeded, man-made, manipulated event, that they're covered.
So that happened. And then, okay, so there's people going, well, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And yet, there's this article about Dubai. See, it's getting more mainstream that they seed the clouds, and everything that we've been pointing at the sky going, look, look, and no one cares or everyone dismisses it. Now they're coming right out and telling you.
Just so I know. I have to drive back from Abu Dhabi to Dubai.
No.
It's not raining. It's a sunny day. The UAE government invested more than $20 million in research to start a process called cloud seeding. The UAE performs around 1,000 hours of cloud seeding a year, and it's all controlled by this building in the National Center of Meteorology in Abu Dhabi, where they track the whole process. We met with a cloud seeding expert to explain how the seeding process works.
We wait the forecast.
Oops. Oh, no.
Process works.
We wait the forecast when we have a good, chance for a cloud. We send the aircraft to that location. Go under the cloud. In the first stage of the cloud, there is good updraft at that time. Start to release all the salt.
And he calls it salt, but we know what it is. The other gal just described what they release. They're chemicals and they're salt.
And with the good updraft, of course, it will go inside the cloud. The droplets will become bigger and start to rain.
The center manufactures a salt substance that helps enhance rainfall. They put them in what they call flares.
And if that wasn't enough to say, well, maybe that ceiling fan man's onto something, how about this? Steve JMO showed me this a long time ago. This is what NASA does when they shoot their rockets. Test them.
Don't worry.
So it creates this huge cloud, and I don't know, it's probably some I can't play the whole thing. Look at this huge cloud, and even within this article this guy is talking, the cloud turns into rain and rains on him before he even finished his leaving here.
I told you. It's raining.
Okay? So, and I can go on and on and on about all the news articles that are coming out telling us they seed the clouds and cause these weather storms. But if you talk about it on these channels, they're going to say, they throw that word conspiracy and everyone turns it off. But I'm just here to present the information. You guys do what you want with it. And then I got this lovely thing from, I forget what listener. So you probably hear, I apologize, because I've covered this before. Now, this is not my cloud cock, as they say. This one just appeared, and I have to admit, it's much larger than ours out here. So I'll give you that for size. But the difference is, that's not one that I had actually seen in real life. This is what they sprayed over my area one day.
You better take a look at this radar.
Okay, come on, people. Now they're just literally dicking with us. For reals? I came out here to photograph the moon in the daytime without more than... Here, let me make this bigger screen so you can see it better. How do we do that? Somehow. Oh, we go like this. And we go like that. No. Oh, I can't find it now. Where'd you go? Here it is. No, that's not it. Here it is. No, that's us. Here it is.
You better take a look at this radar.
What happened? I lost control of the show. It's playing somewhere else. Where's that coming from? I don't know where that's coming from. Wow. Sorry, everybody. Whoa, there it is. Shoot. Wow. Okay. Well, we know you're not here for the quality entertainment. We know we're here because
I got nowhere else to go.
Okay. I'll fix this in post-edit. Let's see if we can do this again. Let's try it this way. Maybe this way will work better. There. I think that's working. Can you guys see that? Hopefully. Let's see. Let's try this again.
Satellite operative, Captain. You better take a look at this radar.
Okay, come on, people. Now they're just literally dicking with us. For reals? I came out here to photograph the moon in the daytime without more than it is at night. And they decided to spray a giant... Well, you tell me.
But it looks like a giant.
Come on. Come on.
What's coming out of it?
Come on, people. This is just a clown. When are we going to wake up? What's this called? Shoot the moon. I think they're going to try to hide this now that I've exposed the I've exposed it. They've got one of their invisible planes.
It's already exposed.
Wonder Woman is in this one. If I can focus. Focus.
It all seems like there's a hand underneath the balls. Seriously.
All right, well, let me look at that. That's a really cool, whatever that is. We won't be able. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. There's some cuppage. Definite cuppage. Hey.
Try to get them
What's going on? That's a moon condom.
It is a long, smooth shaft.
For those of you keeping score, the cloud cock, as we're now proudly calling it, has gotten larger, girthier, but still being held in a gentle caress by a little darker, just grayish cloud.
But with two balls.
So clouds have definitely changed since I was a kid, just saying. Whoa. No, they didn't. Wow. Things are going crazy on this panel here. I got to get rid of some of the tabs. I think that's a problem. So what y'all think of that? That's one of my proudest moments, I think. Yeah. Yeah, we've talked about, in fact, if you look on my channel, it's a few months back, I did a show with a gentleman, is it Jamie Lee? I think is his name. And he did a lot on that. It was during the time of the one that happened in Hawaii, the fires there. So, but yeah, I found it a very fascinating discussion. So hopefully you'll check that out. Yeah, Nephilim clouds, right? And yeah, they're impressive. So, okay. So where are we at here? Okay. So yeah, that was something. But it's just a normal cloud, right? I guess that's what they say. Yeah. There was just a gentle hand caress. It's just a gentle caress, right? Okay. And the person in the chat is very nice, the things you're saying, but I have trouble posting your name up on the screen just because it's, the name. But anyways, just so you know, if there's another account you have. They walk among us in this fallen world. They do. Good to see you, Rain and Pain. Show my Grammy. Oh, I think it might be in another room. I'll look for it, Laura K. Laura K. Come on. All right. And there's some people that I guess are questioning that if I actually won a Grammy. And you know what I say to that? I don't care. So there's that. There's that. I mean, it could very well just be complete and utter
bullshit.
All right, that's the last of the coffee. We're going to water now. So, okay. Where should we go next? Let's see. Let me clear. Let's look at these pictures here. Get through this because it's about to be the big game on Sunday. And I just wanted to remind everyone that the score as far as Super Bowl wins go, the United States is still kicking ass. We've won every single Super Bowl so far, and Europe at 0. So America, just saying. Anyways, go Swift, right? Swifties? Isn't that what we're calling the Kansas City Chiefs this year? The Swifties? Isn't that hilarious? I find that hilarious. So you got Taylor Swift, and she's dating the head of, there's no face on here. Where am I? We need a face. In case you don't want to stare at an eagle. Maybe you do. But you need the ceiling fan man mug. Well, at least this one. Okay, let's see. Am I doing this right? Let's try this again. Clickety click. See if that works. Try that. If that didn't, yeah, that works. Okay, so you got the big game coming up, and apparently, if you were in Kansas City, every time they would score, they'd show a picture of Taylor Swift in the audience, and it was like irritating. Because think about it: if you're in a football, most likely you're not listening to Taylor Swift, and vice versa. Okay, maybe you could say there's crossover, but overall. And so now you got all the football guys, every time they score, you see her. And now they they get their dream. They go to the Super Bowl. And now I was talking to my mom about this because she's up on these things. So, all these people are so conscious about their carbon footprint. She's been thinking of flying back. She's over somewhere in another country and coming out just for like 12 hours so she can blow kisses at the quarterback and then fly back to wherever it is he's performing, he, whatever is performing, Chim, in that country. And what's interesting, you can look for it. I didn't bring it up for tonight. If I thought of it, I would have. There's a guy right now, and what he does is he likes to post all of these famous people and how often they fly these stupid little planes back and forth. And she's actually, her team is putting together a lawsuit to try to get them to stop, because apparently it's embarrassing as to how much they fly these planes back and forth. And so I just thought that was interesting. So that's my football news. So there. Yeah. So, okay. Next. And it's just more, what do you call that? Give them bread and circus or whatever, and then the people don't revolt. That's all that is. And then also don't forget the new fear. And I'm thinking I'm going to come up with a weekly thing. This is your weekly dose of fear, because now they want to make people afraid that something's going to happen at the Super Bowl. I mean, it's so ridiculous. They've been saying that go all the way back to the Black Sunday with Robert Shaw. Nobody knows that reference, but it was a cool movie when I was a kid. Okay. And it had a blimp in it, which they don't have anymore. These are the people that make these wonky buildings that people say aren't melted, because to me, that looks melted every day of the week. And someone mentioned something in one of my comments, and they did say that one of the signs of revelation that we can't really prove, of course, there's a lot we can't, because if, well, let's say we're in this book and we're at the end of the book, that seems pretty obvious to everyone. Are we right before tribulations are kicking off, or has that gone through? Has the millennial reign gone through, and we're in the little season pizza at the end of the book? They mentioned this comment mentioned the stars didn't fall from heaven. Now, a couple things about that. I've been thinking about this, because like everything else, we don't know. Maybe that's a reference to not all of them, and maybe because there's an endless number when God talks to Abraham. So maybe a bunch of them did that have fallen. Maybe it's Hollywood about to fall into the sea with all these earthquakes. That would be fallen stars, right? But when you look through the Bible, there are multiple cities that God wreaks havoc on, and it's usually fire and brimstone like Sodom and Gomorrah, which, again, provably so it happened, because you can find videos today where they go to just type it in a search, Sodom and Gomorrah, and you see the sulfur balls, you see the destruction. You can even see the part where the pillar, because God says that Lot's wife's going to be there for all eternity. You can still see her standing there. And so he's destroyed multiple cities. I forget what book it's in. I think it's in Chronicles, where he talks about all these different cities he's destroyed. So my point is this. Is this a destruction from the original flood? Is this a destruction of melting from Revelation? Or is this a destruction from, this is one of the cities that God destroyed? So at this point, all the signs that I'm seeing, including where Jesus talks to people and says, this generation shall not pass until we see all these things happen. He's talking to a room full of people. So there's a lot that's telling me that we're probably at the very end of the book, the short season, little season, whatever you call it. However, if we're not, either way, if you're waiting for tribulations to kick off, then you're waiting for Jesus to come back. And if you're past that and he's been here and you're in the short season, you're still waiting for Jesus to come back. And so don't get stressed out on the negative things that are coming. Just prepare regardless and enjoy yourself, knowing that if you're aware to these lies of the world and you see the destruction that God made sure that we could see, this left behind, so this new last generation wouldn't make the same mistakes, although we seem to be. And when you see these areas where water is pouring out and nobody really explains, I mean, how much runoff could there possibly be from some of these mountains that no longer have snow caps anymore? But yet there's an endless stream of waterfall coming out of what looks to, if Jen's in here, bricks right here. Okay? So now you've got what appears to be a structure with water coming out because whatever it was connected to is no longer there. And this is the picture that I have in my old Bible from the 1800s, showing the waters coming out of this building. And here they are side by side. Just saying, we're allowed to use our eyes and Occam's razor and say, is this an endless amount of water from runoff coming down this mountain through this thing that sort of looks like bricks, but is just sedimentary layers that accidentally ended up looking brick shape? Or are these bricks? Is this evidence of some destruction? Is this the water line that used to go through it, like this picture here, and now just looks like a waterfall? You make the call. I'm just here to present the information. If you want to believe there's a car, a Tesla, heading towards the sun, as Elon tells you, go ahead. That's your prerogative. I'm going this way. It's the way I see it. Everyone in the old worlds, they all believed in a firmament of some type, except one. These guys steal all your money, or majority of it. Even these guys that everyone says is a villain, they believed in it. Even the Egyptians. Why does everyone have a covering over there except this guy? Right? Never a straight answer. It also means lying in Hebrew, I believe. And then this one should be upside down. I apologize to my Australian friends that one's wrong. But how about this one? Look it up. This one bothers me. There's never been a Mayan people. That N is now gone. It's been quantum affected out. And they're just the Mayas. Always have been, always will be. If you remember the N, well, then you're misremembering. But you're not, just because it was there. Just like dilemma. I would say it so I wouldn't forget to spell the N. And now it's always had two M's in dilemma. And if that's new to you, it freaked me out too when I first, because why would I and everyone else misremember putting in a silent N that I'll write but not say? Like, it makes no sense. And if that wasn't the case, if it's always had two M's, why would I create such a ridiculous story in my head? Makes no sense. Yeah, what's up with all this crazy weather? But see, those are just contrails. It's like if you were going for a jog and it was very cold out and your breath you could see, and then you kept going and you turn around and it's still there. You know, that happens. And that one, you can just look up all these things. I don't have time to go through all this. This is like 10 years of research. We're living in a time where Satan doesn't even have to hide anymore and the world still can't see him. Eh? Yep. And they show you. It's not that the Simpsons are like soothsayers. The people in charge of this, they're in for the long game. I mean, if you go all the way back and you say that it's from the fallen ones, well, they've been here a long time. And so this whole thing was to traumatize and take away rights. And they continue to let you know in advance that it was coming. Just interesting, those that have eyes to see. And one other thing, I don't know if Brian will see this one, but that is wrong. The United States flag, if for you playing at home, if you're not familiar with this, it's now been changed. And what I remember, the red under the blue, as Brian would say, for the blood of the fallen soldiers, is no longer true, because the American flag now has just a white under the blue. So, and that's the thing, that the effects are so many places that it's easy to, it just hits you and you don't even see it coming, kind of like this. And I showed this one last week, but it bears looking at again. They have gravity on sometimes on the ISS, and sometimes they forget to turn it on. So, like that one. Here we go. They tell you these are bad, and you're supposed to have these instead. And if these things make you sick, then they'll give you lots of these things to make you better, right? Because they want to. If they heal you, they lose their customer, right? So they got to keep you just sick enough to where they can. Problem, solution. What is that called? The Hungarian dialect or something? I don't know. I forget. But yeah, it's not the Hungarians. And then this one, Sweden. They just produced a high-budget series, The History of Sweden, and there's their first Swedes. Now, again, I guess we go through evolution because they don't seem to look like that now, just saying. I think Disney must have produced this, right? Okay. Let's see. We're at here. We good over there? Okay. Turn on your thermostat to 64 degrees, put on your sweater, and lessen the pull on the energy grid so your neighbor can charge his car, right? Or even better, they have the some places they have the ATM machines for what do you call it, for banks, and they have them in an enclosed environment with either AC or heat for a machine. So there's that too. So yeah, but it's your fault that we're having an issue. And then 2 months without washing an auto on Earth, and yet 9 years on the Mars, and Johnny 5 is still going strong. So that's really cool. We need to figure out how they do that. Well, we know, but the rest of the Earth needs to figure this out. And this just made me laugh because at first I did think it was Gabe Kaplan from, what was that? Welcome Back, Kotter. But then you can say, well, that could have been Tom Selleck or Burt Reynolds. So just saying, it's pretty interesting. And that little guy from Germany that you can't see on YouTube with the funky mustache, I just was talking to, like I said, Brian and Jen the other night, and he mentioned it in the show, and I looked at it, and that thing is no longer that tiny little square we all remember. It's gotten kind of bigger and bushier. Of course, he has blue eyes. That's weird. But his mustache is changing too, so it should be interesting. Maybe he'll end up looking like this doll. That'd be funny. Okay, what's next? This is completely airtight for the vacuum of space. Just thought I'd show that because I'm not familiar with the zipper that you can get airtightness in, but NASA figured it out. But that's the spacesuit X-ray. And radiation doesn't harm them in this, and completely airtight. I'm sure they'll have a reason that their zipper's airtight, but it'd be the first time in history, I guess. So that's that. And this blew me away. To make sure the accents were accurate, they forced these children to grow up in England. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. Okay. All right. And don't be talking trash about Tom Selleck. He's one of mine, well, specifically also my wife's favorite handlers. There's nothing better than Jesse Stone, just saying. And I got one of my favorite lines from Suitcase is the information's out there. You just got to let it in. Suitcase. I'm still processing, and I agree with this, that this dude from Full House, I think it was, he got her so mad she supposedly wrote that amazing album. Because it was all about, what was it, hand in my pocket and you're hitting the road, buddy, and all that. And it was because of the relationship of this guy. So what does this guy do to you in a relationship that makes you lose your mind that you're going to go like, it's pretty funny. Can I come in? I don't know. Can you? Cursing quietly, the vampire backs away, foiled yet again by the English teacher's pedantry. These are things that make me laugh. And I said, it's just if I laugh. If you guys laugh, that's just extra. And this is definitely a picture if you'd see me in high school. It definitely in, what was that one class? Math. I hated math. And I was usually tardy to that class too. Rented out the basement. Speaks for itself. Excuse me, can you give me a ride home? Which home? Your home. That's how all cats think, I feel. Of course, mine's different, but yeah, I think that's the mentality of most cats. So, and then, this is another thing that I like to show people if you're new to the whole concept of flat Earth. But we definitely don't live on a ball flying through space, and trust your eyes. Go do these experiments yourself. Because if you look at what they tell you, the globe model is, you shouldn't be able to see these mountains like this. So just they'll tell you it's a mirage, but I disagree. And we talked about this company. I found that was interesting take on that. I just you never know, but that definitely is something there. This I think is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Sometimes I get bored and walk around the Walmart parking lot putting these notes on random cars. And it says, I'm pregnant, call me. Can you imagine? I don't care who you are finding this on your car. I think that would definitely cause a conversation. How about that? So, okay, what else we have here? Yeah, 238. I think it's almost 239,000 miles away. And again, this is something you can look at in the sky, and they literally tell you this, I believe, is Tycho crater, and it's a naked eye object. You can supposedly see this rock almost 240,000 miles away from your eyeball. You can see this with your naked eye. On a full moon, it looks huge on some of these. Meanwhile, this is the images that you get from their spacecraft. Okay, someone's lying, because you can do this with your own eyes. You can see these things with your own eyeballs, or even with binoculars. You can get some amazing photos of the moon, or whatever it is. I don't think it's a ball up there. I think it's some type of light source of some kind, and it could even be fake. I don't know if they've taken away gods and put this one up. I don't know. Well, none of us will know. None of us can get there to see it. It's all speculation. Just like this. In England, sometimes you see these, and they say that using this shape uses fewer bricks than a straight wall. Sure. Does that make any sense? I don't even know why they did it. I just thought I'd throw that up there because we like talking about bricks on these channels. And for the people that get angry at me because I prove and showcase that there are changes, not just in regular stuff. There are changes in this Bible. And it's not the word of God changing. That's literally Jesus is known as the word. It's the paper and ink that has recorded these events. That's changing. It's allowed to be changed in the end times. Amos 8 talks about it, as well as passages in Revelation. They say that this is going to happen. It's another sign of the times. And in Romans, they say, and the people that get mad at me, this is why. They exchanged the truth of God for a lie and worshiped and served the creation more than the creator. There are people worshiping this book and then walking around all puffed up saying, it's not changing. Well, it is. And I believe one of the reasons that I'm here doing this is I'm here to, even at people yelling at me and saying, all these horrible things about me, I need to speak this truth, and I need to let you know. Go look into this yourself. Things are changing. Isaiah 11:6, the lion no longer lays with the lamb. The wolf dwells with the lamb. Completely changes the meaning. And there's many, many others. I've covered a bunch on my channel. Look for one that's called Bible Changes, a must-see, and you'll see a bunch there. I constantly go over them in this show too. But it's happening. And it's one more place that God's trying to wake us up to say, hey, these are the times we're in. Just because the truth of the supernatural Bible changes, they don't go away just because you don't want to hear it. And I like how they use bricks in this. So, and I sent this to Jen, of course. Like, for instance, it's an abomination for women to wear a women's garment for a man. And then, like in the very next chapter, Moses is putting girdles and bonnets on Aaron's sons. These changes don't make sense. But that's why God says in the end times, you have it written in your heart. People like myself, we're reading it, we're reciting it, we're learning it. Kind of like that book of Eli. I'm getting to know a lot of these passages, even if I don't have it completely memorized. I'm getting to know them enough to be able to pass on these stories as this book gets so manipulated. And the great falling away could be when the majority of the church justifies the supernatural Bible changes and demonizes those who weren't about them. And I believe we're in those times. I mean, Moses now, and look at the paintings and the statues, he has horns. And in addition to that, he goes up onto the mountain to come down with what I remember as being the tablets. Now it says he comes down with tables. And he comes down and they're not making the golden calf, they're making a molten calf. And that's just a few right there. And he wasn't even put into the bramble bushes in a basket anymore. They put him in an ark. So I can place so many of these things that if you're denying the Bible changes at this point, you're forcing yourself to for a reason, because you have to be able to see it. Like God's putting dung on people's faces. It's just, there's a lot of disgusting talk in there now. The part where I believe it's in Matthew, I'd have to look at my video, but where he's talking about the day of the Lord, and there'll be two men, and now they're lying in bed, and there'll be two women grinding at the mill, and now they're just grinding. It's like very sexual now. And so, the guys used to be in the field. Now they're in bed. So there's things that are changing. And those of us that are listening, or, we see it. And if I see those changes, I have to speak out. But hey, it's a trigger. There's a lot of people that just get really angry. And I'm, hey, I'm sorry, but you just have to see these changes. And if you can discount every one of these changes, there's always that one that sticks with you that you can't explain. And that's the one you have to look in and say, this natural world that they tell us we live in, it's actually supernatural is the natural world. And these things have been, happening throughout time. That's why when you look and you say, oh, is this a new phenomenon? Well, some of the things like we talked about on that show, like Black Tom that happened, in the early 1900s and stuff that most people never heard of until just recently. And so I don't know how it all works. Nobody does. We'll never know. None of these channels, and no one will ever know how it works, who's doing it, and why. They'll never be able to answer that. What you can do is see that an event is happening. Jewel sings Who Will Save Your Souls with an S. And Bridget Jones' diary now has an apostrophe S, which is now proper English. Instead of just apostrophe after an S, now it's add another S. You can't even say it. Jones is, right? Or what's the one? Cliff Notes has an S now. So it's Cliff's Notes. And Bragg's doesn't have an S. It's now Bragg. And so letters are just flipping around and flopping around and disappearing and reappearing. The Eagles are just Eagles now. And why is it happening in all these different places? Because God's allowing it to happen. That we know. And it's to wake people up to the times that we're in. The times are short in the great span of time. How about that? I'm not saying this will happen tomorrow, next year, 10 years, whatever. I won't predict those things. A lot of people worrying about another eclipse, whatever. What I do know is this. The things I'm talking about and the things that we're seeing in the skies and the diverse earthquakes or the swarms of earthquakes and the wars and rumors of wars and all that stuff, it's all matching up to things that are written in Scripture. So where are we at? I just know we're towards the end of this book that I didn't even believe in several years ago. That's the funny thing. Anybody that looks at this and goes, wow, this guy's into the Bible and flat earth and whatever, doesn't believe in the moon landing. I was the same person, just say 5-7 years ago. And so you have to look at either I've completely lost my mind. Fine, you can do that. Or you could say, wow, well, let me look into some of these things this guy's talking about. And if a few of the things that I've told you seem to resonate like, wow, he's right about that, then I would encourage you to look into all of it, including the things that are the most triggering or whatever you want to say. And that's Mandela effect. And that's is Jesus the truth? Because those things will show themselves to you. That's what I believe.
True. Yep. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay. So, because you can even look at, here, I'll show you some of the things if you haven't seen my show. How about this one? Where is it? Here we go.
Someone should get fired over this, right?
When the lion will lay down with the lamb.
There is no sorrow or suffering. The lion lies with the lamb.
And the lion shall lie down with the lamb.
So we're watching this movie, or trying to, and then they came to this.
Who art in heaven.
Yeah.
Hallowed be thy name.
Right.
Thy kingdom come.
Right.
Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Uh-oh.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us.
Oh, no.
Judge not, lest ye be judged.
Where did you get that?
Doesn't the Bible say, judge not, lest ye be judged?
I know judge not, lest ye be judged, but gross.
That we judge not, lest we be judged.
You judge not, lest ye be judged.
But doesn't the Bible teach us, judge not, lest ye be judged, Reverend?
Judge not, lest ye be judged.
That was someone's getting fired, is what that was.
Why do I call it that someone getting fired? Is because every single one of those clips was incorrect. Not one of those clips had what happens in the scriptures anymore. I'm talking KJV. That's what I'm familiar with. That's what I read. But the KJV, every single one of those passages has changed and no longer says what those people said just then. And again, check out my Bible video, but look into these yourself. And I'm not talking on screen. I'm talking like this Bible here. I've shown it before, but there's new people. It's from the 1800s. It was a beautiful gift. It was gifted to me by a wonderful man. And in it, the scriptures have changed from that. But there's certain pages that they didn't, and certain pages they did. It's a fascinating book, and it's a fascinating topic, and it's a fascinating time to be alive. We shouldn't fear it. God says not to fear. It has that more in the Bible than anything. The thing is we're supposed to understand the time that we're in, and believe it or not, you're here for a reason. So either we chose to be here, which sounds ridiculous, or God chose us, and maybe we don't even know why. And so what my show is, to not just have people get together where they can talk freely and not feel ostracized and have some camaraderie for a few hours, but also to help us prepare for the times coming and be ready for people, because more and more people are waking up to this. We've been, at least my wife and I have been doing it for several years, and others too. But there's new people coming all the time. And we have to be patient and accepting and loving, because we were them. And so that's what I'm saying. Whoever's listening to this right now, I was you, more or less, just a few years back. I didn't believe in any of the things. I probably wouldn't have listened to this guy in this bowling shirt, Shampoo. But I wouldn't have. And especially, I mean, my God, the flat earth thing, forget that. We didn't believe, we went to the moon. There's no way I would listen to this guy. And so that's all my encouragement is that I want you to at least take the moment or two to look into some of these things that I'm saying. Where's this one thing here I was looking for? I'm so really good at finding these things when I'm talking. No, I'm not. No, it's gone now. That's fine. But yeah, I'm still looking for it. I know it's Melanie's.
Melanie, it's all your fault.
So yeah, but I don't believe that we're that, well, whatever that one is, ball flying through space, as they tell you. It doesn't work for me anymore. And the reason that I found that out is I tried to disprove it, and I failed. And so that's how I ended up realizing that we're not as they tell us. But we might as well, with that topic, get into scary space news, I guess.
This week in scary space news.
Okay. I'm still looking for it. There it is. It starts there. Okay. So we'll go here. We'll go clickety click here and here. And Scary Space News this week, I just have to say, is completely brought to you by Trevor and oh, come on, the other T. Terry. There are two people that send me articles all the time, sometimes the same articles too. But I really didn't have much time to concentrate on the scariness of space with everything else going on. And so they sent me this. They can't help themselves on these cartoons. And that's what this is for those of you playing along at home. They just take supposedly computer coordinates and then an artist draws what they think it equals. And so what did they find? A tube of color atmospheric gas goes across the moon's magnetic field in a snake and a slither. It's in the article, snaking its way and slithering. Because, they always have to have their serpent references to let you know who's in charge. And so there it goes. Did you see it? And that probably cost you another gazillion dollars tax money at work. There goes the snake. Zip. So beautiful, beautiful CGI there. Just saying. Then there's this one. This one, they said a meteor slammed into Mars. Yeah. And they even got the sound effects of it. So let's get that going, right? All right, sound is on. Ready? Listening? Sounds like underwater to me. Let's listen again. Water above, water below. Why does everything look and sound like it's going through water? So, just saying. What's next? Oh, yeah, this one was awesome. I've seen this before, but I thought it was interesting. And you guys can play along at home with Google Maps.
And all of that happened in a little town called York, Maine, across. Played a lot of sports. And all of that happened in a little town called York, Maine, across the United States from where we're talking to you right now.
Next giant leap will also start right here in Houston, orbiting aboard the International Space Station.
Right here in Houston.
This Houston? Yeah, that's right. Johnson Space Center. Go down to Building 9, go to Street View, and go inside, and you'll see a mock-up of the International Space Station. But it's perfectly accurate down to every wire, and we're going to explore these rooms together. And I was walking through these rooms, and I started to notice that, hey, I've seen this before on the live feeds, and I noticed something out of my peripherals, and I said, wait a minute, wait, what? I've seen that before. Ah, there it is.
And I've played this one because this gal is supposedly on the ISS, and she magically makes a doll appear up here, which is obviously impossible, but it isn't in the ISS magic.
I knew I'd seen that before, and whoa, a lot of magical things happen right here
in Houston.
So I'm here on Google Earth, and there's the Johnson Space Center. And this here is building number 9, which has the hilarious title of Space Vehicle Mock-Up Facility. Now, you have to first click on Street View at the bottom corner, and then you have to click at this exact spot, and that's what I didn't realize. And that will bring you to the inside of the mock-up International Space Station, which is hilarious. NASA is most certainly lying to us.
So, go ahead and play along at home and try that out. After the show, of course. All right, what's next? I think we covered this one, but I thought it was interesting. I guess that's the end of space news, sorry. But in Revelation, when he talks about the beast of the horn, well, you can read through this, but yeah. This is how Congress set up their buildings. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. It's like the candlesticks, right? They're talked about in Revelation. Sure, that's just a coinky-dink, right? Well, the world I live in now, I don't believe in coincidences. Just saying. So, and the reason I think the world we live in is lying to me is I covered this with Brian and Jen.
An open umbrella?
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. This is the guy, this is a Mandela effect. Because if you watch Mr. Rogers when you're a child, if you're not familiar with this one, he no longer says it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. He now only talks about his own neighborhood. He now sings it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, like screw your neighborhood, I'm okay here. But everyone remembers it the old way, including in this JFK reenactment talk about the umbrella man. Why was he having an umbrella? Because it didn't make sense.
Why? Because it's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
And I get an ad.
Hi, everyone.
And not that one. Goodbye. But yeah, they say it twice in there. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, which was never said. And it reminded me of when I started my channel. It's because I was watching this, and you can see this on my channel still, called the Origin Story. I kind of changed it around a bit, but it's basically all the same stuff that I started with. And I was trying to find out, when you look up satellites, they always show you, here, I'm going to stop this so that way if I get a commercial. If you look up satellites in space, all you get is cartoons. And so I was looking at these different space programs, and I came across this one that blows up on the launch pad, and I found this weird anomaly in it. And failure was partway through. I swear it looks like a balloon. And sure enough, there's a jump cut. It turns into a balloon and then falls on itself and breaks apart. This is not in my outro. You see this. And that was supposed to be full of rocket fuel, and there was no explosion. So, just so you know, that was one of the first anomalies that I saw, because why is there a jump cut here? And it just changes in the live feed. And then there's this one I covered with Jen and Brian in the Hindenburg, and suddenly it's
airship destroyed in less than half.
They show this thing traveling as far the whole time, and then when it gets to where it actually gets blown up, you get this weird jump cut like that. Like, what was all that? And then suddenly it's on fire. And the reason I was looking this one up is because what I remember in this fireball is no one survived, but now more people lived than died. So that was weird. But again, jump cut. And there's one with, I thought I had the right one there, but there's one with the JFK thing. If you look at the original video, the motorcade just appears, like I think between frame 6 and 7 or something like that. It's there. So there's obviously a jump cut there. And so I'm starting to see through, you go look throughout history, and this is happening quite a bit. And so you really, what can you believe? Can you believe the things that are on the televised vision, or can you believe what you can see with your own eyes? So, okay, let's see. Let me go, where are we at here? Let me clear some of these tabs. I think we got that one done, and that one done, and that one done. And okay, so how about this? I'm going to, for me anyways, I'm going to refill my drink and do a little pee break, but I'm going to put on a video that I made. A little pee break. I didn't want to say it out loud. If anybody needs to refresh their drinks, you can do it. But I made it's probably one of my favorite videos. Of course, it's about the soap that we make, because my wife and I, we make our own natural soaps. And you can write to me and I'll send you the details on it. But we're going to have that up in a store soon where we can sell it to people that want them. Because just like I'm saying, don't forget all the stuff that you wash yourself and put on yourself, that's going to go into your system. So you want to have it as less toxic as possible. And so that's why we make soap for ourselves and our children and our family, but people have ordered it. So this is a little behind the scenes and a little bit of Sarah, and I'll be right here.
The ceiling fans? They're very attractive.
So it's a making a soap day. Normally it's women's job, but today the men are doing it.
Like in Boy Scouts. I can imagine you as a Boy Scout. Keep stirring.
And I'm going to be making the soap. It's a very simple process, actually, and just simple ingredients. We use coconut oil rather than animal fat or liposuction like they do in Fight Club. And then, of course, some water and lye, and you just have to be careful with that, and you'll be fine. So, and that's no lie, but that is. So we got the coconut oils in there, and they're melting. Melting! It's like a dog.
They look
look so happy, like dogs.
And this one's almost there too. So as soon as they're melted down, then we can add the water and the lye. And that's no lye, no, that's coconut oil. So this is the only stage you really have to be careful. You can see the steam coming off of this.
This is lye, the crucial ingredient.
Because the lye is having its chemical reaction with the water. And so, you know, do it in a well-ventilated area. Don't breathe it in. Don't get it on your hands. Don't play with matches. You know, the usual stuff. And you'll be fine. And that's no lye. But that's a bowl of lye. So basically you need to stir it until it's clear. And then it's ready to be added to the oils. All right, so we're at a very exciting stage. This is now completely liquid. We're going to be adding the water/lye mixture carefully, so not to splash. But if you do, you can have vinegar on hand, and that's an anti-lye burny thingy stuff. And so here we go. We're going to put that in there. And then we're going to mix.
Loud noises!
And so best to use the stick blender, and you get in there and we're going to mix it to a specific consistency.
Tracing.
So you keep mixing this until you get to almost a pudding state called trace.
Tracing.
We're not there yet. I made the mistake of putting them both activated at one time.
1 to twin powers, activate!
And so I had to stir both, and it was quite a sight. My wife took a quick video of that. But just do them one at a time if you're going to do more than one loaf, I recommend. A tip from the ceiling fan man. Okay, so this is what trace looks like, at least I believe. And they call it like vanilla pudding. And I tell you something, if you're making soap and you're hungry, watch out, because there's a bunch of stages. This one's vanilla pudding, the next one's mashed potatoes. All right, so we're almost at the mashed potato stage. We're just about there. Creamy mashed potatoes. Don't eat the soap, don't eat the soap, don't eat the... Nope. And then we're going to go on to the next stage. It's more waiting.
This means...
Okay, it's starting to gel. We're getting very close to the applesauce stage.
Pork chops and applesauce.
And so I'm going to do a test to make sure that the lye has been neutralized, and then we'll be able to put it into the soap molds. So now we're going to let these cook for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll come back and check on them.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, so I put it in the mold, and now more waiting. And this will solidify, and I'll probably wait 24 hours at least, and then I'll take it out of the mold and cut it into bars. So here's some of the finished product. This is our standard one. It's just basically a coconut oil, and it's great for lathering, shaving, washing hair even, depending on the type of hair that you have. This one is infused with the clay that's out here in the Northwest. It's called glacier clay, and that's a good detoxifier. And then this is the similar, but it also has some avocado oil in it too. So we make different types, but all of them, everyone, is better than you get stuff in the stores.
Yeah, with enough soap, one could blow up just about anything.
It's time for Ceiling Fan Man and Sarah, and kisses and tacos.
Here, remember? We had tacos.
So I came across a new city, and as I was looking through it, I saw there was a Black Panther protecting it.
I'm a Black Panther now.
She's queen of all she surveys. hers. And don't go near it, or she won't protect you. Oh, you want to fight, eh?
Hmm. 一样是少林学艺，东院的师傅是怎么教你的？
Satellite tracking continues.
That's my new favorite sound effect, is when Sarah becomes a Black Panther. She is vicious, Crazy John. She's crazy, Crazy John. No, she's great. Yeah, emerald eyes, right? Yeah, but yeah, she is pretty. Thank you. So, and no, for actual, separate from what we're doing here tonight, I haven't gotten the flyer ready, but we will. I'll put it up on my community page. But we like to sell them a full loaf, but you can buy, like, say, a half loaf or one bar. It's just cost-wise, it's better if you can buy the whole loaf. So, but email me, ceilingfanman2020@gmail.com. And like I said, check out, by next week, I should have it up on our community page. And if you are interested, we will do that for people. So, okay. And then don't forget to send in your fair use warning thing if you wanted me to play you reading it. I don't know. The bar's been, excuse me? I missed it. The bar's been set pretty high. I mean, first we had Rose and Jason and then Faye. So, you know, but we've got more coming up. So, okay. Time is speeding up. We're already almost all the way through February, right? Or, well, not quite, but we're getting there. It's pretty shocking how fast it's going. Seemed like the year just started. So, okay. Thanks, Trisha. Yeah, please. And she does. And she usually wins, just so you know. And sorry about your cat, Juan. Yeah, it's terrible when you lose a family member. So, cougar? No, she wasn't a cougar. She was a Black Panther. What's the matter with you, Shapu? She's a panther. It's not like that. Yeah, and that was the whole idea behind it. I don't even know how it started in my head, but these weird thoughts get in my head, and I felt like I was fighting karate, and then this became the thing. And for those of you that don't even know, if you've been watching whatever you want to call these different channels, alternative view channels, how about that, on YouTube, there was a guy called the Dollar Vigilante, and he was on YouTube, and now he's living in an island in Mexico, and I think he's got his own station. I don't know. But that was his thing. He had this little chihuahua, and he had this little cartoon that it was going to be him and this and Tico, the dog, whatever the dog, I forget the dog's name. It's been a while. And tacos, because it was a chihuahua, and he made it sound like it had the voice of a little Hispanic dog. What do you say? He runs that thing that Brian. Oh, okay, yeah, the Acapulco thing. I guess Brian Staley's doing. He's running that. And if you looked at his old videos, I don't know if he still does it. It was like it's the two of them and kisses and tacos. So I kind of just basically made it into Sarah and me and kisses and tacos. But we already had tacos, so no tacos. So, okay. Yes, it's a great idea, and I'm sure it was all of hers. But yes, and thank you. Yeah, those are the ones I created right before the show, all by myself. What, do I have anything? Very proud of me? No, I don't know. Do I have anything? I don't have anything for that. So, but I'm very proud of myself. Oh, here we go. Boom, baby. Meanwhile, the rest of the audience is going, except in Australia, they're doing that upside down. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I just like flying through them. And one day, Ryan, if you're listening, it'll just all be drops, and I won't say anything. So there's that.
Come,
The answers will be revealed.
You love kissing tacos? Yeah. I do love tacos. Oh, and thank you, Melanie. That's very heartfelt. Thank you. Yes, they are good soaps. Okay. All right. Where are we at here? Let's see. We got all good. Yeah, he does Bitcoin and tacos. Exactly. Yes. So, okay. All right. What's next? Oh, okay. What is this? I'll read it first. What is this? Okay. We're talking about pigeons again. So, Tim says a pigeon story. Okay. I like it. I like it already. Funny. My buddy does pest control. They trap pigeons from barns and sell them for $1 or $2 each. What? I don't understand. He sells pigeons to who? Who buys? You got to give me more information on this, Tim. Who's buying the pigeons? China? China's buying the pigeons? Oh my God! Oh wait, now we gotta that we definitely have to. Where is he? He's in here somewhere.
Breaking news with Ceiling Fan Man. Take it away, Ceiling Fan Man.
Thank you, Ceiling Fan Man. We have breaking news from Tin Lange. It says that his buddy, now he's keeping his name from us knowing it just for security reasons, but his buddy traps pigeons and sells them $2 a piece back to China. And then they send them back over here and they spy on us. So that's not what he said? Oh, okay. So I made up some of that. Fantastic. What is this? He's got more. Pigeons are an untapped market. Yes, pigeons are an untapped market. I love this audience. I know it's being funny, but I really want to hear more about this. Who's buying these pigeons and what are they using them for? Because you remember the beginning of the story. It was about the pigeon that they had that they thought was, lurking around the Indian airport, wasn't it? I think so. Anyways, okay. Please, I need to hear more about the pigeons. So, yes, that's it. Jeff Berwick, that's the dude. But what is this hair sticking out here? Get out of there. There. Sorry, you don't have Chaput here. Or Voynich. If I was Voynich, man, it'd be just being everywhere. In slow motion. It looks amazing. But yeah, that was the gentleman that had the kisses and tacos that I just kind of lifted for my thing. So. And Lucy is the dog's name, not Icy. But I know it was probably fast typing. Lucy, kiss. So it was Jeff, Lucy, kisses, and tacos. And guess what? For those of us playing along with the Mandela effect, that line that everyone remembers in his accent, and where is it? When I say everyone, I mean everyone. They all say it the same way. They go, I can't find everyone. Lucy, you got some splaining to do. I have a video on it. The only guy that's never said that is Ricky Ricardo in any episode of I Love Lucy. So if you remember him saying that, Lucy got some splaining to do, go look for it. You won't find it. And his name isn't Desi Arnaz, it's Desi Arnaz. But that's a whole other thing we can get into. So let me get back to, there's a comment. What is this? Pigeons are free money, Midwest. They use them for high-end pigeon shoot. Oh, geez. Oh, so instead of the clay ones, they use real ones. Yeah, yikes. So I understand they do that, but there's a lot of people that are going to be upset with that. Wow. Okay. See, where's my guy? So thank you, Tim, for that, because where is he? You get this somewhere here. I'll find it because I need to hit this one there. So thank you for that. I had no idea. Yikes. I'll tell you something. Okay. I'll give you one if you don't know this one, Tim. I found this out because we went and visited some area that what do you call it? The Audubon, the Audubon Society. And when you think of the Audubon Society, you think of bird lovers, right? Well, it's named after a guy that was famous because he could draw birds really well. And so he went around and he would draw, and that's how he named a lot of the different birds in these different areas that we saw was from this guy. Except when you actually read the story, the way he got such good detail on these birds is he would shoot them out of the air. He would kill them, and then he would draw them. So he's like one of the things named after him. And he's a mass murderer of birds. They described a story where there was a certain bird that they hadn't seen before. And everyone took out their shotguns and they shot every single bird that they saw in the air down to the deck of the boat or wherever they were until they found the one that he could then say, oh, I'm going to draw this and they'll write about me. Look into it. It's fascinating, the world we live in, and no one told us these things. The leader of the Audubon Society is probably the biggest mass murderer of birds in history. Look it up. Check my math on that, and you'll see that I'm right. Because you know what? I'm learning because there are no experts.
There are no experts.
Right, Juan? There are no experts. So, okay. Because, all right. Let's go back to this. Oh, was there another comment here? Did I miss one? Let's see. So, but I think we covered the birds. So, where are we at now? Yeah, there are no experts. Juan Truth. Okay. So let's see. Oh, let me finish this. Get rid of this. Oops, not that one. Clickety-click here. We'll go here, and we'll go here. Go here, we'll go here. And I think it's this one. So just so you know, all sports are, they had a whole thing. The NFL came out where they did a jokey joke, supposedly, that they're all fake. And then this one came out for the tennis.
Our storylines at the start of the year. And yeah, we just tried to make everything look natural. Let's face it. People are stupid, so they'll buy anything.
So this is supposed to be mockery, but I think they just tell us what they're going to do, just like I said.
I've been part of this show for 16, 17 years.
So they do this whole thing where they talk about how it's staged and it's a show. And then you look them up, and this happened. Novak Djokovic. Look at all the sixes. Snapping his 33rd degree streak. I mean, come on. And look who won. Sinner? Okay. Just saying. They show you. And just so you know, just like I talked about when I did the JFK thing with Brian and Jen, they all have IMDb pages, right? Including, what's his name? Lee Harvey and stuff. Same with this guy. They all have them. They tell you they're actors. They do commercials where they tell you they're actors. And we just ignore it. Bread and circus. I want my MTV and I don't care. That's what the society, that's what they dig. They want this stuff. Even though they straight up tell you that they're acting. Meanwhile, this is real life. Cats that are learning how to make bread. We all need to learn how to make things.
Again, use your body weight to push the dough into itself. You might have to add a bit of flour until the dough is easier to work with, but don't overdo it or you'll throw off the balance of flour, yeast, salt. Yeah.
See? They're putting their cat to work. Are you listening, Sarah? She's way where I can't reach her. People need to, it's time to wake up and do these things, man. Instead of watching football every day. What do we got next? This cat took Lay's way too literal. I wonder what Quickie Mart this is at. It's got to be like a 7-Eleven or something, right? Brings their cat to work. This is freaking great. Okay. You shouldn't be eating these anyways. By the way, here's a tip from the ceiling fan. Don't ever, if you can't stop eating chips, do yourself a favor. Stop eating all chips that have the color orange in it. It is a known carcinogen. That's why these all taste so good. They're the worst. And Doritos and all that, okay? Try to take that color orange, unless it's an actual orange or a carrot. don't eat anything orange. It'll help your system, and you won't end up having to deal with clearing more toxins. But man, these things are good. Okay, next. How about this? This is why your cat shouldn't watch soccer. I've seen it so many times. I don't know. It makes me laugh every time. I don't even know how he does that. I actually thought it was like they put him on some kind of ejection seat or something. What's this? One more. Is that something? That's fantastic. Okay. All right. Is that it? Oh, this is funny. I got to go over this. So, two things about this. When my awakening process, at first I thought that there were good politicians. Okay. Now I'm on this other side where I believe they all are the same. It's like that George Carlin thing, right? They're a big club and you ain't in it. These people have more in common with each other than they'll ever know. They don't give two craps about what the struggles we're going through. They have their own life and they're dealing with it. They're flying planes across the world to go to a Super Bowl for 12 hours to kiss their boyfriend and then fly back. They don't give two craps about us and our problems. And so at one point, I thought this gentleman was helping us. But now I realize, to me, it's just good cop, bad cop. You know, he brought donuts and the other one smack you in the face or whatever. But it just depends on if you're red team or blue team, which side you want to choose. When it's all just to make us fight each other. But why I'm bringing this up is because in those days when I was listening to what he had to say, he's funny, okay? He's still a handler, but he's funny. And I would listen to this guy, and then I would see these boards like that one letter of the alphabet, this conspiracy thing too. And this guy would post stuff on Twitter, and he'd misspell stuff, and he'd make mistakes. And the left side, or whatever you want to call the anti-Trumper people they would point it out with glee and go, look how dumb he is. Meanwhile, the Q people would say, no, he's playing 5G chess or whatever. I don't know. And he's doing this on purpose because if you look what he said here, the misspelling connects with the drop that came from the Reddit post on the 4chan network. And those numbers matter. And then they put up this ridiculous Q clock and stuff, which none of it makes sense. And I used to know the whole thing. I have a video on it. Well, maybe we'll play it. But, and so they would say he was being, making stupid mistakes on purpose as like a wink to the audience. Like, I'm coming for him, And so then this shows up. And a couple things about it. One is, he posts this. He puts it up. He does his own AI of himself. What would AI think if I was praying in church? Because probably it never happens. But if it did, because I even have a picture of him doing a prayer, holding the Bible in the as above, so below, and he's got it upside down. He created 6 fingers on his hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, couple things. This is a common thing happening with AI photos. Here's my thoughts on that. If you read or listen to my partner that was on the other day, Jesus Freak Computer Geek, he's got a great channel and he wrote a book. I don't know, I've got it around here somewhere about the coming AI. The AI programs, they do this, but their AI is basically demon technology. It's fallen angel technology. And if you think, oh, that's out there, I'm not ready to look in, believe that, go try to find exactly where AI started. Go try to find exactly where the first quantum computer was started. I mean, you'll come up with a never-ending series of questions. And so if it is demon technology, AI, it would make sense that it would put 6 fingers. Because when you read about the giants and their children, the Nephilim, when you read about the fallen ones and their children, the Nephilim, the giants, it talks about, like this verse, and there was a battle in Gath where there was a man of great stature that had on every hand 6 fingers and every foot 6 toes, 24 in number. And when you hear those things, like when I hear 24, does that bring back any other memories to you like it does me? About, what was that? Baker, baker, make me a pie. Something like that. 24 blackbirds baked in a pie, right? So these 24 things, and the whole Jack and the Beanstalk, and the how's that little poem go? Fee fi fo fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman and put it in a pie. And so there's stories. And where do they all start? Well, the Bible talks about the fallen ones, and somehow they mated with humans, and they created this monstrosity, these giants, the Nephilim, the bones that the Smithsonian takes and says that they never saw. Meanwhile, they put up chicken bones and say they're dinosaurs, or fake bones. Basically, they're not even real bones. But in any case, how did I get in the Smithsonian? And it's probably, I said it wrong too. It's no longer the Smithsonian Institute. It's the Smithsonian Institution. And it's no longer Grand Central Station. It's Grand Central Terminal. But in any case, I'm way off topic. So, of course he would leave this with the 6 fingers to me as a little wink and a nudge to those in the know. Why do I say this? Well, have you looked at Barron, his son? This was Barron when he was 12. This is Barron when he was 15. And this is the 6'7", possibly 6'8", they say, foot Barron at 17. He's 17 right now. Anybody check his fingers? So, just saying, I thought that was interesting that, he shares the 6 finger wink to the Nephilim giants, and then he's got this. And don't forget, like, he was, if you look in some of the pictures just a few years before this, he's this little blonde-haired kid. And then they went away on a vacation, and this person came back. And don't get me started on this, Jen. We'll check his fee later. Okay, what's the last here? We got this. This was sent to me by a new listener, follower, fan, and I found it fascinating about the whole DNA thing. And again, I'm using this if I believe in the numbers and what they tell me. I'm going with the fact that in their universe, this is how these numbers and DNA works. And with that, it's very interesting what you come up with.
There's a scientist that was studying the human genome, and he studied it for over 25 years. And through much study and research, what he comes to the conclusion of is the human genome is made up of the DNA, the double helix, and each side of the helix has 72,000 genes, which combined makes 144,000 genes total in the human genome. Now, for those of you that know anything about the Bible, you know that's a number God uses. So that's a signature from God right there. That's his signature. And combined, they make 144,000. They're connected in the middle, looks like a twisted ladder, the double helix.
And you're right, I've seen the chat. 2 things. I'll show you that picture again. He admits it, that he had 6 fingers when he made that photo. He made a mistake. It's admitted. But as far as the double helix, again, I'm just going with what they tell us in science. I just found the numbers fascinating because if the science is real and you go along with it, look at what the numbers create using their numbers, if that makes sense.
Now, this new technology they come out with,
if this can do this new technology, this is what they say.
Introduces the third strand through mRNA messaging technology. It actually breaks a strand and puts in a third strand, which creates a triple helix.
If that's possible, again, going with their narrative, okay?
Go look at the Queen ceremony. You'll see what she did. She kind of told the world what was going on. Go look at the lighting strand. The Queen, I forgot the name of the festival, but the Queen lit up the third strand of DNA. I mean, a three-strand of DNA, a triple helix.
So again, whether or not you believe this is actual science, the world that we live in, this is what they're presenting to us. And it's kind of fascinating.
Anyway, so if you have 72,000 on each side of the double helix, on each side of the twisted ladder, there you have a strand that runs down the right side and one that runs down the left. One strand is the mom, one strand is the dad of that subject. And that's 72,000 per side. If you add that together, you have 144,000, a signature from God, showing you are created, you are created by Him. Now you add that third strand, you've placed in now another 72,000. Now you have a triple helix. Now people say, well, this thing that's going around the entire world that everybody's choosing to get is not the mark. Well, let's look at that number. 72,000 per side for the natural genome is 144,000. Add the third strand in, it equals up to 216,000. The number of the beast is 666, or, as the Bible states, 600, 6. Now, multiply this. 600 times 60 times 6 equals 216,000.
So, again, if all this is true, and I'm not saying I'm buying into any of this, I'm just putting this out here, the fact that according to what science says they're doing or can have the capability, isn't it fascinating that it equals not just the number that we were looking for, but the coding 666, which is the way it's described in the Bible. So I did find this very fascinating. And I'm not saying that what's been happening is that. I'm just saying I find it interesting. So, and then I guess, what do we have? Two more here. One is, this I thought was interesting, that they found this fossil artifact rock that looks like it has a plug in it. And it's feldspar granite found in the countryside, far away from industrial sites. It's estimated to be about 100,000 years old. Well, maybe that's a little sus, but still, it has this plug in the granite. And the old world got melted on God's judgment. That's what I see. If you have a different reason, if you believe in science, let me know as how that happened, because they're having trouble finding. And lastly, science baffled after finding 4 gigantic mountains lurking under the ocean. The tallest one is over 1.5 miles in height, and we really didn't know it was there. So you're talking about mountains ranging from 5,200 to 8,800 feet tall. And more than 80% of the ocean has never been mapped or explored. So what could we possibly do a takeaway from that? In my mind, there was a great flood and the water's still here. In some areas it's deeper, in some areas it's leveled down. But you go through all those, remember I showed you with all the different countries and worlds and the Mayans even, and they believed in this type of flat system with a dome. They also pretty much, where's the guy? Pretty much everyone also have a flood story in there somewhere. And so if you think of us as like in a dome of some kind, snow globe thing, when God put the waters in from above and below, and again, Noah used to go around telling everyone, hey, this is going to happen, and building an ark for like hundreds of years. And he also said it was going to rain, and it had never rained before. Some people think that the Milky Way is the tear in the firmament when the water came in, just like you'd see a scar. This is an interesting theory. And so waters came in and waters came up. Some people are saying like meteor crater maybe was where a water fountain shot up. There's a lot of interesting theories going around. We'll probably won't be able to prove any of them, but we can at least look into it. And so after that happened, so you have the floods here, and all flesh died. There wasn't anything left except most likely the fallen ones were still here, and the people and animals that were on the ark. And then you get to when the ark finally lands. Prior to that, Noah now sends out first a raven, then he sends out a dove. And the problem is, when the dove comes back, you think he comes back with a branch, because that's what we remember. That's what you still talk about when you want to have peace with someone, is you put out an olive branch. Well, why would you say that? Because that didn't happen now.
So we decided to try another show, and what happened? Uh-oh. He doesn't like this. Someone's getting fired.
Ceiling fan man, the weird and strange things he sees.
They did a mistake. That should be a leaf, not a branch.
That was someone's getting fired, is what that was.
See, and that's another one, and scene. That's another one that I saw when I was reading the Bible. Because, like I said, I read it all the time, and you go through a passage, and then when you go back through it, suddenly the not the pigeon. I was going to say the pigeon. Suddenly the dove only has a leaf in its mouth, and it's always had a leaf. It's weird. You can't explain that. There's no way you can say you misremembered it, because no one says, here's an olive leaf. You'd be like, well, you didn't bring me the whole branch? I guess we're still not friends, right? No, it's always been a branch until it isn't now. And so if you always remembered giving someone an olive branch, then you've joined us. It's not like you're in a different reality or world than we are. It's happening to all of us, as just some of us are noticing it and others choose not to or just don't see it yet. So, okay. Where else do we say here? Let's see. Maybe no, it'll be the raven, right? Check that out. That freaked me out. First, he throws a raven out. I'm like, well, okay. And then he doesn't talk about it ever again. Then he throws a dove out. And then it comes back, and then he finally comes back with the leaf. Never heard from the raven again. In fact, there's a new one. There's another one about birds. That's the other thing. I don't know how this all works, but when you start discussing something, then more things happen or come around. So, like, one of my favorite passages I talk about is when don't worry about if you make a relationship with God. I'm not saying you can kick your feet up and just sit back and he'll take care of everything. I don't think that's the way the relationship works. I think you have to put an effort forward, but he will smooth out your path and make your life easier. And so he says not to fret about where your next meal is coming from, because he used to say, in my mind, like the sparrows, they don't worry about where their next meal, they just know they'll get it. But now he says the ravens. So I don't know. Maybe the birds are all from Baltimore. That was a bad joke, but it's still worth this. Okay. Well, let's see. Where are we at? I think I've covered most of my tabs. It's tough to come up with things off the top of your head for like 3 hours. 5 people on Rockfin. Nice to see you over there. And we still have, well, at least 130 or so that I see. But I think I'm kind of getting ready to wind this down. I think I've hit everything, the topics I was looking for. Let me check the pictures. we can save that till next week. So we'll do that. And yeah, so if there's a topic that I've covered and you have questions for me or rebuttals or whatever, please, again, look in the description of these videos. There's links where you can donate, but there's also links where you can write to me and so forth. And then thank you, Melanie. I'm not even sure how these work, but someone was gifted that. So I appreciate that very much. You've always been very wonderful and helpful to my family. Okay. Now, I think that's it. We'll cover the rest of this another time. Got about 3 hours in, just about. So let's do this again. And if you enjoyed this, come back and see me again and look at some of my other stuff that I've done on my channel there. And I'll continue to try to put up new content everywhere I can. And so thank you very much for being here. And I guess I would ask that, Lord, please watch over us and guide us through these times. Continue to show us mercy, grant us the love, the patience, and the understanding so that we can make it through and we can help others that are going through rough times now. Some people going through times even harder than we're seeing. May those people find comfort. May their families find comfort and joy. And please, Lord, help us reach out to all the people, everyone that's needing to hear your voice and feel your love right now. Let them find you, let them come to you, and let them see the glory and the beautiful joy that can be in everyone's lives when we open ourselves up to you. I thank you, Jesus, for this. I thank you for the blessings of being able to do this show and all the people that show up here. May God watch over all of us and keep us safe. Amen. Okay. All right. So I put a pin in me. I'm done. Put a fork in me. So let's see. With that, you get this. No, I'm kidding. No, you get this.
Class is dismissed.
Okay. God willing, the good Lord will all be here next Friday. Same bad time, same bad channel. To everyone that's helped me throughout these times, thank you very much. Everything is helpful and appreciated. And just hearing from you and knowing that in some way I'm helping through these times, that gives me great joy. So I thank Jesus, I thank God, and I thank you all for listening. Okay, great. We'll see you soon. God bless you. Good night.